Hello and welcome to the third episode of this Azamara World series focusing on our trip on the Azamara Quest from Singapore to Dubai, widely known as the Spice Route. Before we begin, as usual, please consider subscribing to our channel as we have so many incredible things to show you and we want you on board with us every step of the way. Thank you. If you saw part 2, and if you haven't, please do as it's rather fab, then you'll know that a Tuk Tuk is a convenient way of getting around Colombo quickly with its natural air conditioning, its hop-on hop-off convenience due to having no doors, no seatbelts and absolutely no safety features at all. So, today, our second day in Sri Lanka's capital, we decided to do a walking tour excursion of the local markets, where you'll not get thrown from a tuk-tuk, but instead you might get run over by one. Well, life is one big risk, isn't it? The walking tour took us to a local spice market, where they sold colourful, pungent pulses, lentils and spices by the sackful. It was a feast for both eyes and noses, until you came across a stall selling these dried fish and fish parts. Horrendous to look at, and probably not too pleasing on the palate. I didn't let my nose stray too near, and I certainly didn't bring a little pick and mix bag of it back to chew on for an afternoon snack by the pool. The market was busy, and the good folk of Colombo bustled and heaved and hollered around us. It's places like this where you really feel like a pasty white sweaty tourist, so I clicked away like one and got some beautiful shots of some beautiful people as a reward. After the market, we took to the streets, where our chatty guide talked us through some fascinating facts about Colombo and its heritage and culture. This original HSBC logo, for instance, is never seen anywhere and doesn't even appear on a Google search, as it features a rather naughty reference to the opium trade, which is a period in their history I guess HSBC would like to forget. And I've just reminded them. This chandelier cuts through several floors and is the tallest in all of the East and Arabia, apparently. Mind you, it was mesmerising to look at, and I had the primal urge to climb up it for some reason. Well, I didn't though. We popped into the historic Cargill's building and discovered that the outside was far, far nicer to look at than the inside. The 3-star Grand Oriental Hotel, opened in 1875, was another such iconic building steeped in the most varied and incredible history, but utterly frozen in time. It was a fascinating place to stop for tea and biscuits, and I'm finding it quite hard to describe. I felt the building, although open as a functioning hotel, had a sadness about it. A feeling of neglect, not through intention, but through impoverishment. With the history it has, it deserves better. But also, with the history it has, I can understand its fatigued state and the need for a saviour. Anyway, let's lighten the mood and back on board Azamara threw us a barbecue. Yay! And officers were serving us, which is always a great touch and an opportunity for some cheeky banter. Now we need to fast forward to the next day, otherwise I'll never fit everything in. This voyage is busy, busy, busy. There's so much to see and experience, and it's jam-packed full of proper wonders. Our first sighting of India was one that will linger in the mind for a long time. The Chinese fishing nets of Cochin. More about those later. First, we hired a local Ferrari and driver for a trip around Cochin. Tuk Tuks are named after the noise its two-stroke engine makes, but it doesn't describe the smell of it. It should be renamed Tuk Tuk Stink Pollute.
Oh, this is good.
Our lovely and knowledgeable driver whizzed us round his local back streets and the city's fancy Christian churches. Then onto the historic Devikarna public laundry. It's a community laundry originally set up by the British military in the colonial period to employ Tamil villagers as washermen. And there's a building for ironing laundry, another with sort of cells containing a concrete wash basin and a slab to slap the fabric during cleaning, and then a field of pegless clotheslines. Freshly laundered and hastily ironed, we went on to St Francis Church, built in 1503 and one of the oldest European churches in India. More fascinating views of the back street followed. In fact, we were offered to go for a local curry at his local curry house, but we declined. Didn't want a little bit of the deli belly to go back to the ship to. It was a lovely gesture though, and it was genuine, so that's nice. But soon we were at the Chinese fishing nets. This unusual way of fishing by dunking the nets into the water by a cantilevered frame was introduced into Cochin by the Chinese in the 14th century. Also, trivia fans, the word Cochin means like China. The resulting catch is then sold within minutes to passers-by. It's mostly a tourist attraction rather than an efficient way of catching fish these days, but the spectacle is nonetheless impressive. Returning to the ship, we were treated to yet another speciality lunch. This time it's dim sum and a veritable wok full of Far Eastern cuisine. Keeping with the local flavour, the evening entertainment was some beautiful Indian dancing with a local group in full decorative dress. Azamara really do excel in bringing the local culture on board at every opportunity. It's what sets them apart from everybody else in our opinion. The dancers were mesmerising. The next day, our second in Cochin, we took an excursion to the houseboats on the Kerala backwaters. Again, this was a fascinating and insightful trip, and you really need to get a feel for how people who live along the riverbank rely heavily on the river itself to resource their daily lives. They wash clothes in it, bathe in it, wash dishes and clean food in it. We even saw someone throw rubbish in it, which wasn't very nice. The houseboats themselves were absolutely beautiful and most were immaculately kept. After our river cruise, we stopped at the splendid Murari beach resort for lunch, with acres of parkland scattered with lotus ponds, coconut groves and thatched villas. It also has direct access to a sprawling beach. Helen took the opportunity to dip her toes in the choppy Arabian Sea. She just can't help herself. As soon as there's a beach in view, shoes come off and she's away. Getting back to the ship and fully refreshed, we enjoyed the sail away in the sunset bar at the back of the ship. What a relaxing and gorgeous way to end the day and our stopover in Cochin. In part 4, we arrive in Mumbai for 2 days before winging our way across the Arabian Sea to Muscat and Dubai. Could the cities of Mumbai and Dubai be any more polar opposites? It's a real eye-opener, and you won't want to miss that one. Thanks for watching. Please give us a like and consider subscribing, and we hope to see you in part 4. Goodbye.